Hi, my name is Christine Green. This is a video on doing a neurological assessment. So what I would do is I would walk in, make sure I provide privacy to the patient, wash my hands and introduce myself, and let the patient know what we will be doing today. First, I would also be testing for alert and orientation. Make sure that the patient is alert and oriented ×3, time, place, and person. And also I would assess for pain, asking questions about if the patient had any pain, what the onset would be, when did it start happening, also the duration, the duration, how long does the pain last, is it intermittent, what does it feel like, does the pain get worse, and when does the pain get better, and then also rating the pain from 0 to 10. Next, I would start with the first cranial nerve, which is the olfactory. So I would explain that I would be occluding, I would have the patient close his eyes, and I would just have a scent, 2 scents available. And so I would say, all right, I need you to close your eyes, and I would occlude 1 nostril, and then I would put the scent in front of him, and then he would tell me what that scent was. And then I would occlude the other nostril, and then introduce the second scent, and he would then tell me what that was. And this is, you want to be able to have a scent that's pleasant, nothing that would stink, because then that would possibly elicit the gag reflex. The second thing I would do would be to test for cranial nerve 2, which is the optic nerve. And so I would have the patient look at me and then direct him that I will be having my fingers over, and then ask him to tell me when he starts to see my fingers, and I would do that from different angles.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. The next would be the cranial nerves 3, 4, and 5, which is the oculomotor, the trochlear, and the abducens. And I would then be using my pen light for this. So I would dim the lights when using the pen light at first, and I would have the patient look directly at me, and then I would shine the light in front and wait for his eyes to dilate, and then shine the light, and then I should see his eyes constrict. I would do that for the other side, and then I should see the other eye constrict, the other pupil constrict, I should say. And so I would also have my pen light, and I would be having him look at me and then follow the pen light. So you would, I would have you follow the pen light and look there, here. Okay, great. And then I would also direct him that I would be looking straight at me, that I'm going to bring the pen light to the bridge of his nose, and I'm testing to see if his eyes they should go inward. I'm looking for any shakiness or anything like that when testing for that, and I should see his pupils constrict there. Cranial nerve 6 is the trigeminal nerve, and so I'm going to be palpating your masseter. I need you to clench your jaw, and I would be palpating the masseter and the temporal, and they should be strong on both sides and no pain or stiffness. The next one, I would be testing cranial nerve 7, which is the facial nerve. And so I need you to smile, frown. Okay, now puff out your cheeks. Okay, now raise your eyebrows. Okay, so he's able to do that. And then the next would be cranial nerve 8, which is the acoustic and vestibular nerve. So you can now not puff out your cheeks and keep your face the way it is. And so I would tell him that I'm going to be occluding one side of his ear, and I'm going to whisper 2 words.
Cat, dog.
Okay. And then the other side.
Red, yellow.
Okay, so then next I would be doing cranial nerve 9 and 9 and 10, which is the glossopharyngeal and the vagus nerve. And so I would have a tongue depressor for this, and I would ask the patient to open his mouth and say ah. And I'm looking at the uvula to make sure that it rises, and I'm also looking at I would use the tongue depressor for to see if there's a gag reflex, and so that would be the cranial nerves 9 and 10 for the glossopharyngeal vagus nerve. Then nerve 11 is the spinal accessory nerve. So I would have him do, I would put my hands here, and I would ask him to shrug his shoulders. Okay, ready? And so I would document that he was able to shrug. I would also, so when I'm placing my hands there is just to, a little bit of resistance to see if he's able to shrug his shoulders. Okay, I'm going to have you move your head from side to side. Okay, and then up and down. Okay, perfect. All right. Then I'm going to do assess cranial nerve 12, which is the hypoglossal nerve. So I'm going to have him stick out his tongue and noting the midline of his tongue. Also, like any discoloration or anything like that, inspect for tremors. Okay, that's great. And now I want you to say tight.
Tight.
Light.
Light.
Dynamite.
Dynamite.
And so I'm testing that for clarity, and to make sure I'm hearing the T, the N, and the L sounds. Next, while I'm doing this too, I'm also inspecting like his head, face, nose, and ears. I'm looking for symmetry. I'm looking to see if his eyes, his nose, and his mouth is symmetrical. I'm palpating for the temporal arteries, which is over here, sinuses. I'm also, I would have gloves for this, but I would be looking at his conjunctiva, sclera. I'm looking to make sure that they're white, that they're, underneath the lashes, that it's pink. I'm looking for any swelling. I'm looking for any tenderness. I'm also looking for the lacrimal apparatus, making sure that there is no for drainage, blockage, or tenderness there, any redness, like I said. For his ears, I'm looking at his ears with an otoscope also, and for him, I would, for adults, you take the pinna and it's up and back, and then so I would be inspecting his ears. I'm looking for cerumen and any drainage, arrhythmia, lesions, masses. When I'm using the otoscope, it's at, like I said, the pinna up and back for adults, the left ear at 7 o'clock, right ear at 5 o'clock. The nose, I'm inspecting not only the structure of the nose, but also any redness or drainage or discharge or swelling. Also for the mouth and throat, I'm looking at his lips, the mucosa, his gums, his tongue, like I said, the uvula, the palate, and the tonsils. So I will be inspecting that throughout the neurological assessment as well with the pen light, the otoscope, and using gloves, like I said, for the eyes as well. And then I would conclude the assessment, noting any signs and symptoms of pain, like I said, or any of the other things that the patient should be aware of, and that would be the end of the assessment.